opportunity to say, all right, well, I'm going to try to make it seem like you little homie. Ross, you look really crazy trying to call Drake little anything at this point. It's 2026. All right, you've been past your peak. It's about 2013. That again like 2008. I'm gonna say 2006 because 2006 is when you started getting popped. I think I was coming out of high school, so I was like '05, so which is a long time. So we're gonna go from '05 to like 2012, 2013 is because like we're gonna basically go to basically when Maybach music is at the very height, and then eventually what happened with Ross was Ross wasn't really able to make different kinds of records and go other places musically, or at least make music that sounded way different. And that's always the problem with street guys. Street guys have great rap voices, but they're not really able to create the best catalogs because they're not able to go to different musical spaces. But the main thing is being able to make projects that don't sound the same and are still enjoyable, and also demonstrating your ability not just to put. A lot of people, right, they have a very basic idea of song structure, and song structure in and of itself is what makes a song enjoyable. So for example, I could choose to do 20 bars of just singing in the very beginning of a song where you just start singing, and then after that comes the hook, and then the second verse could be a rap, you know what I'm saying, and then after that it could be a bridge, and then you may not even have to even have a hook. You can have things that sound like hooks, or you can have a song where hook, verse, and for some songs that would fit. But you don't have to stick to 3 verses, 3 hooks, or 2 verses, 3 hooks. You don't have to stick to that. You can do whatever you want. The idea is how long is the hook? How are you saying it? Pause. How long is the hook? Pause. How long are you rapping for? How long are you singing for? Your understanding of everything being exactly where it needs to be at. But again, a lot of people get caught up in the sound if they can get that far, and they get caught up in putting the song together. So they'll never really experience, being able to say, all right, boom, now let me start building up the actual structure of the record, meaning that, all right, where am I putting the verses at? You know what I'm saying? This all this shit. I want to change. But anyway, so this what Rick Ross be doing when he play Acid My Music. So rather than let it play. Fam, Drake reacted with crying emojis and shit. Anyway, so the reason why I know, and we all know, right, that for the most part, Ross has always resented this dude's success is because when you thought that it was not so much over for him, but basically there was going to be this time where the industry was going to put Drake on blackball mode, and no one was going to be like allowed to like interact or support it, because it really was like that. It was like, these are all people that you've been around, you have relationships with and stuff like that, and you literally didn't see anyone who was famous come to his defense as if it was told by the manager, listen, this is what's going on right now. Homie finna go through it. You know what I mean? It was like a one big concerted effort against this guy, and Rick Ross wanted to like kind of ride that wave. So here we are in 2026, right? Iceman on the way. Iceman coming in a few days, my boy. So I heard academics point this out. The fact that it's looking like it's going to be an apology tour where everyone's going to kind of backtrack, and you really seen everyone give kind of half-ass apologies, or half-ass, hey, it's all good. I love your music and everything. Iceman on the way. You know what I mean? Because what it is that we're back to reality. Now, don't get me wrong. I made this point in this other video that I made about Charlemagne. well, more so mention Charlemagne and mention the point that narratives matter. If someone got a platform, it's the reason why there's censorship and regulations when it comes to what goes on the radio and on TV and stuff like that, and why you couldn't show a certain amount of skin, you can't show a penis on TV. There's so many different things that that are censored and controlled and regulated for a reason. All right, the powers that be understand that, right? It's the reason why certain people are able to break through and get to that next level. The powers that be understand all of that, right? Messaging matters, platform matters, you being able to be heard by a lot of people at one time matters. So someone like Charlemagne making it popular, making mainstream, and kind of getting planting the idea in the minds of people of basically he's a part of like Drake kind of becoming a meme because his harsh critique, because it would basically be, hey, I think you're really talented and whatnot, but I also think you're really corny and this and that. And it's like, yo, in what reality can you call someone who can there is no, like, if there was a dude in your town, right, who's able, that all the girls want, and he could smash your girl, and any girl he want, and he got money and got cars, and you come, and even matter of fact, even the word corny, even that concept is a lot of times I think it's wrongly used. It's not really used in like a solemn, honest way. It's mostly used for the most part to tear like a dude down, or tear a black man down. That's mostly what the word corny is used for, right? Because you gotta think about what that means. Like you can't call someone corny when they're more popping than you. That makes no sense. That's the same as me being 145 pounds, looking at a power lifter and saying, hey, nigga, you ain't that strong. Like, I mean, like, nigga, like, no, I don't think you're strong. There are guys out there who lift logs and trees and whatnot. Have you ever heard of Hercules? I just don't think, like, you're not stronger than a Greek hero. That's why I believe it's strong. If you want to ask me what is the litmus test for how strong you are, if you can't do the 12 labors like Hercules, it's not for me. That's how haters be talking. What they basically, again, it's like this world building shit where they build a world around you. Don't let niggas like build a world around you. Let me tell you something, because that's what losers do. One behavior of losers is that what they want to do. What?
I've been not.
Relax.
I've been not talking. So what are you talking about?
Rose. I know. Losers, again, always want to waste time on something, right? Because that's what they do, is waste time. Want to waste your time and their time. Even with Ross, right? Nigga, you mad at Drake because your music stopped popping and you stopped making different records. You stop rapping over different beats and rapping about. It's not even that you. All right, here's a quiet camp secret. No one cares what you rap and sing about. It's about the sounds and the feel and the emotion and the shit sounding new. That's it. It's mostly it. And that's why the smartest thing to do, the fastest way to keep yourself sounding fresh, whoever's next, go do a song with them. On Blueprint 3, who's on Blueprint 3? Mad goats, like all the young nigga goats was on Blueprint. Not all, but I'm just saying you had Cole on there. You got Drake. Now I don't like Drake's song on there, but Drake was still on there. Hov went got Drake. All right, and Kid Cudi. I feel like he had someone else. But either way, but he went and got these people, and they were up and coming. They were young and everything, and their features were impactful on the record for the most part. Right, and that's the blueprint for how Hov was able to have all these eras where, like, again, and the way that I heard the phrase by academics was really, I think it was really cool. It was like,